The late November sun was sinking fast over the Angelina River bottom, painting the sky in deepening shades of orange and purple. I had been in my stand since early afternoon, a comfortable elevated blind that gave me a clear view of both my feeder and the sprawling meadow beyond. My trusty 243 rested across my lap, its high-powered scope catching the last gleams of daylight. The mechanical whir of my feeder going off broke the evening silence at exactly 5:15 p.m. I've done this enough to know I had about 45 minutes of shooting light left. A group of doe emerged cautiously from the tree line, about 100 yards to the right of the feeder. I watched them through my scope, noting their nervous behavior, the way they kept lifting their heads, ears twitching, more alert than usual. That's when I saw it, at the edge of my peripheral vision. At first, I thought it was another hunter, though something felt immediately wrong about the way it moved. There was a fluid grace to its gait that seemed somehow inhuman. I swung my rifle around, bringing the scope up to my eye. The magnified view made my blood run cold. Through the crystal-clear glass, I could see it in disturbing detail, a massive, brown-furred creature walking upright on two legs. The hair covering its body wasn't patchy or uneven like a mangy bear's. It was thick and uniform, almost like a well-kept coat. In the fading light, I could make out powerful, almost human-like shoulders that had to be at least 4 feet wide. Standing fully upright, it had to be 7 feet tall, maybe more. Having tracked plenty of game in these woods, I guess it weighed easily 500 pounds, its frame packed with muscle that rippled visible even beneath the fur. Its arms were unnaturally long, hanging down past its knees, ending in hands that looked disturbingly similar to my own, just massively oversized. It emerged from the woods at the edge of my neighbor's farm, moving with deliberate purpose straight in my direction. I'm not ashamed to admit my hands were shaking on the rifle. I know every hunter who works that property. Good old boys, none over 6 feet tall or weighing more than 220. This was something else entirely. The doe had frozen in place, trembling. In all my years of hunting, I've never seen deer react like that. Not to bears, not to cougars, not to anything. They stood paralyzed as the creature moved past them, giving it a wide berth, but seemingly too terrified to flee. I kept my scope trained on it, my finger resting beside the trigger, heart hammering in my chest. The thing showed no sign it had noticed me, but it was covering ground fast. When it was maybe 150 yards out, it suddenly stopped, though I couldn't make out its face clearly in the dying light. I had the terrible sensation it was looking right at me. For 3 heartbeats, we stayed locked in that position. Then, with a grace that shouldn't be possible for something that size, it turned and melted into the dense forest to the left of my neighbor's field. The doe bolted the instant it disappeared, white tails flashing as they bounded away into the gathering darkness. I stayed in my stand until full dark, my rifle pointed at the spot where it had vanished. The normal evening sounds of the forest, the crickets, the frogs, the occasional owl, never returned that night. The woods remained as silent as a grave. I've spent 30 years hunting these river bottoms. I know every game trail, every track, every creature that's supposed to call these woods home. What I saw that evening doesn't exist in any wildlife guide. I haven't been back to that stand since, and if I'm being honest, I'm not sure I ever will. Some things are better left alone, and something tells me I was lucky it chose to walk away that night. Sometimes, on dark nights when I can't sleep, I wonder if it's still out there in those shadowy woods. And I wonder if next time, it might decide not to walk away.